Piece of gaff tape. What we have here is the Baofeng TP-8 Plus. Another slight disappointment in radios. Now, full disclaimer, I got this radio on sale for $20 for a 2-pack on Black Friday. Or was it Cyber? No, I got this one on Black Friday. I got a different set of radios on Cyber Monday. But this was a deal for me, and I bought this radio. Go away. Piece of paper just fell off my shelf. I got this radio with the intention of making a repeater. Now, this is a great radio for a repeater, kind of. If you have a repeater box with the 2K1 connectors and the repeater box in the middle, this will work. If you want to do the straight cable, going from one radio to another, this radio, at least my set, has a problem with gain going out the headphone jack and into the microphone jack. I have to put the volume at like 10% and then it sounds crunchy even then. So I don't know what's going on with that. I didn't give it too much effort. I gave up after it wasn't working, and I went with the UV5Rs that I ordered on Cyber Monday. I got 2-pack for $15. Or not 15, $30, which makes them $15 each. But I got these 2-pack for basically $10 each. Now this is an alright radio. My first gripe right out the bat is you cannot program this in Chirp. This is not a normal Baofeng. This is the anti-Baofeng. My second GRMS radio ever was the GM15 Pro, which is the exact same body as this. Probably identical internals, but it is firmware flashed for GRMS only. And that is a great GRMS radio. It's just a pain to program with the program that you have to download to program it with. Is that enough programs in one sentence? My biggest problem with it is you can't copy and paste. It looks like an Excel sheet, but the font inside each cell is about 4 times as big as it should be, so you can't actually read any of it. You have to open up each line and fine adjust every detail for every single channel. And it just becomes tedious. When you have multiple radios, Chirp is nice because you can copy and paste across spreadsheets for radios. And they also have a feature where you can look up all your local repeaters, whether it's GRMS or ham. They have presets for common like merge channels and GRMS channels. So I like Chirp. This does not work with Chirp. I do like the batteries it comes with because they are USB-C. Nope. Oh, there it is, except there's no light that close to my camera. I don't know if you can see that. It's USB-C, but it is not USB 3.0 charging. It is USB 2.0 charging. And what that means is you can only charge at 5 volts up to 2.4 amps. And if you try to plug it in to a charger that has any other mode than 5 volt, 2.4 amps, like a USB 3.0 charger, the little light goes to sleep. It does not come on. It does not charge. It does not pass I messed that up. It does not pass go. It does not collect $200. But that is still better than having 12 different cradles that I have to keep track of to charge all my radios. So I still appreciate it. And I do have USB 2.0 chargers. This radio, or this antenna I have on it, a little novelty antenna. It does not come with the radio, but that is the way that I want it set up. Also, just like any Baofeng, the volume knob is very loose. So at Harbor Freight, you can pick up a whole box of different various size O-rings, and you can just simply find the loosest one that will fit on there and not fall off, and it adds a good amount of resistance. This radio has a particularly loose volume knob, so bumping it with even a t-shirt will change the volume. So this one, I don't have any kind of fancy channels set up. It is simply just generic presets that I have on there. Everything that follows the ARRL band plan, all the FM simplex, FM repeaters, I just have a gradient of presets on here in case I ever do need to use them. Let me turn you off. There you go. So, this is not a waterproof radio. It is not a particularly strong radio, because what happened to my GM15 Pro is while I was hiking, I had it on my backpack strap on my chest, and I accidentally stepped on a wasp nest, and I freaked out, and I jumped about 6 feet in the air. And when I came back down, the radio did not. It decided to keep going. It wanted to go to 12 feet. And when it came back down, it landed on a rock, and now the screen has a big smear of ink across it from the LCD breaking. It still works, so it's still maybe a future repeater, transmitter or receiver. I just have to clone it to the same as one of these and make sure it's on the same channel. I have not really tested the performance of these just because they were too much of a disappointment too. It made me sad to even transmit on these. That's why I have this guy on here. But it's just like most other Baofengs. It just does low and high power. It's rated at 5 watts. One major difference with this radio, which is a completely moot point because of the fact that the only programming software it works with sucks, is it can program up to 999 channels. Currently, I have about 150 channels programmed with just generic channels that fall within the band plan. And even then, I'm not going to take the time to go through and name every single channel except for the simplex channels, or the national calling simplex channels, and that's it. This is pretty much just sitting in my bag as an emergency radio. Now, back to the beginning. I bought these as repeater radios to make a lunchbox repeater. Why aren't these in my repeater box? Why did I go with the UV5R? And that is because, as how would I go apart this? As frowned upon as it is, these will not transmit on GRMS channels, no matter what you do. And the point of my repeater box is I wanted one lunchbox that could transmit on GRMS or ham, depending on my mood of the day, or maybe the use case that I have for it, rather than having 2 sets of radios that I have to swap out. So these are very hard locked radios. You cannot program them in church. Otherwise, they're nice radios. One feature that these radios do have that most Baofengs do not have, I don't have it activated right now. I don't know if the camera will focus or not focus, expose for the screen because I have an... Oh, there it is. It worked. There we go. So most Baofengs, like it's set right now, you have dual monitor. And the only option you have is to turn off dual monitor, but you still have 2 channels set that you can switch between. Oh, come on. There we go. This thing's so heavy right now. So most Baofengs, you can have 2 channels already loaded, and you can switch between them. And if you want to only listen to the channel that you're on, you turn off dual monitor. Otherwise, if you're on this top channel, someone talks on the bottom channel, you will hear it, and the cursor will flash on this channel. This radio has a unique feature that when you turn off dual monitor, both channels will be the same. And you can kind of do a little bit of a hack that you set the top one as name and the bottom one as frequency with dual monitor off, and you can see the name of the channel and the frequency that channel is. So if you are on a simplex channel and you want to tell your friend, hey, go to simplex 5, and they're like, I don't know what simplex 5 is, dude. You program it yourself. You can just look at the screen. Come on, you can just look at the screen and see what it is, rather than going into the menu and changing the setting from frequency to name. That is a really cool feature that no other Baofeng does, but this is the anti-Baofeng. This is an entirely different chipset inside this radio, to the point where it does not work with chirp, and it is entirely unique to other Baofengs. Now, in my personal opinion, I would not call this a Baofeng. I would call it a Radioddity. Because my first ever GRMS radio was a Radioddity GM30. It did not look like this on the outside, but it was identical to this on the inside. It used a very similar software. It had all the same features, including the single monitor mode with dual names, or name and frequency. But you could not program it on chirp for the life of you. So I feel like this is a Radioddity original chipset on the inside of a Baofeng case. And they're kind of the same company. I know that I have the UV5Gs, which are related to the UV5X, which was made by Baofeng, but the UV5G is sold by Radioddity. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on there, but this was the Baofeng TP-8 Plus, TP-8 Pro. I always forget the name of it because it's different. TP-8 Plus. TP-8 Plus. There you go. Baofeng.